got YouTube up and running, and I've got the landscape version working, and we're pulling up to Hoover right now. Oh, and there he is. He's out. Hey, you good tiger.
Come on, Hoover. You hungry? Come on. Come on, Hoover. Hoover, come on. Hoover. 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 Come on. Hungry? Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on.
Lynda is our senior keeper tonight, who's trying to get Hoover to eat. First thing she's got to do is get Hoover to get up.
Stretch. Let's go. Come on. Good boy.
I'm ready to go on my end.
Good boy.
Go.
Come on.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
Oh, what a stretch. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on, love. Come on.
Oh, nice. You're live with the Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
And this is Hoover Tiger getting his evening meals from Lynda, the keeper.
Oh, okay.
Am I making crunchy noises? Sorry.
A big, strong tiger like you. All right, the rest of it, you got to come to lockout now, honey. Come on.
Come on, let's go see.
Come on, now.
Hoover Tiger was rescued from a circus in Peru and arrived here last April. And he's a real fussy eater.
Come on, now.
So what the keepers have been trying to do is kind of retrain him not to require us to feed him 4 or 5 times a day, but to actually come into his feeding lockout at night and eat his entire diet like all of the other cats do in the morning. For some reason, he doesn't like to eat breakfast in the morning. He wants his food at night. Oh, goodness, that was a great stretch.
Who's Latin?
Oh. She has the door down so that she can safely put the food into the cage without him taking off her hands, because that would be much more fun to him. We're crunchy and we taste good with ketchup. Yes, your hand does look very similar to that, like that chicken thigh. The wire that she's putting around there is to keep the vultures from getting the food, because the minute food hits the ground, they seem to know about it. I know people are going to be saying, why is that cage so small? Back in the back there, you can see there's a door. This is just one small part of his enclosure.
Boy.
So, we going to have it? You going to eat it?
Mm-hmm. Good boy. This makes me happy.
Cat asked how he's doing besides being fussy about eating, and he's doing pretty well. He had a problem with his manly parts not staying sheathed, and so he went through a couple of procedures to get that fixed, and it seems to be healing quite well. A lot of people have been asking when he can go back out and swim in the lake, but we want to make sure that it's just absolutely 100% healed. Can you guys hear that roaring in the background? Is that Priya?
Priya.
That's Priya Tiger. She's like, I can hear you crunching, Hoover.
I have a question. Um, there's a question from Kate. She wants Shane wants to know where he was rescued from.
Hoover was rescued from Peru. In Peru, the Animal Defenders International did an excellent job of banning circus acts that use wild animals. And this one particular circus act decided to take the show on the road and try to hide the animals by skipping from town to town. And so ADI and the authorities chased them all over Peru for a year. And by the time they caught up with the circus, the other 11 tigers that were in the act with Hoover had already died, and Hoover was the only one still surviving in the horrible conditions. The cats were raised and kept in circus wagons their entire lives. So when Hoover came here, it was probably the first time he had ever walked on grass or swam in a pool or was able to choose what he wanted to do in a day.
Amber wants to know if you allow visitors.
We do allow visitors, but only on guided tours. You can't just wander around like a zoo. And if you go to bigcatrescue.org, right there on the main page, it tells all about us, and there is a place that explains the different types of tours we offer. Are you done? Or are you just annoyed with me talking while you're trying to eat? Want me to back up? I could back up.
I'm gonna leave it in case he gets hungry and wants to eat some more. So as I circle back around, coming back from the other cats, we'll stop by and pick up the leftovers then. But he should be able to eat more than that, I think.
Who's next?
We're gonna go to the Cougars. We're gonna go see Mac and Aspen, and then we're gonna circle around and try to get Joseph out.
Bye, Hoover.
I have a weekly question about why the tigers can't be released.
The only cats who can ever be released back to the wild are the animals who were actually born in the wild. And that's for a number of reasons. One is that it takes their mother years to teach them everything they need to know about being tigers. But two, it's a matter of legality. It's not legal to release a non-native animal. Tigers are from India and from Asia and from Russia. They're not from Florida. You just can't set them loose in Florida. But because they were born in his case, he was born in Peru, which is also not where tigers are native to. Because they aren't born in the country where they should be living, then they're considered non-native there too, and it's illegal to release them. So almost all of the cats at Big Cat Rescue are here because people paid to have their pictures made with cubs, and they can only be used for a very short time before they get too big, because by the time they're about 12 weeks old, they can take the finger off a small child. And once they've been bred for life in a cage, they can't be released. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She's got some goodies for you. She's got some yummies. As you can tell, this is, well, you can't tell by looking at her, but this is Aspen Echo. As you can tell, she's very lame from a really bad case of arthritis. So what she's getting is her pain management. Good girl. We do bobcat rehab and release, so bobcats are native to Florida, and if one gets hit by a car or orphaned, then we raise them completely away from people, and it can take up to 18 months to raise a baby bobcat to be sufficient in hunting and taking care of themselves to be set free. But that is the best part of our job. On March 30th, we just released Wyatt, and in the next month or so, we hope to release Nova. Both of them were native bobcats.
Mac. Come on. Come on.
We had to put these windows in their dens because a lot of the cats are too lazy to come out and get their pills at night.
I've definitely met at him through that window.
29 of our cats are over the age of 20, so that's why they're dealing with all these old age issues.
Right. Samantha wants to know how much it costs to visit.
Just for the regular day tour, it's $38 per person. We have specialty tours like keeper tours where you go out with the keepers and you make things for the cats to play with and then watch the keepers hand it out, and feeding tours, those are more expensive, but I don't know the prices off the top of my head. You'd have to go to bigcatrescue.org. Goodbye, Aspen. Can you give everybody a purr? She's purring. You're the purriest cougar, yes you are.
To the vacation rotation.
All right, we have a 2.5 acre vacation rotation enclosure. And right now, Joseph the lion is the one who is on vacation. And he's another one that's really fussy about eating and will only eat at night. So the real trick now is whether or not Lynda can get him to come to the side of the cage and have his dinner. This is Priya. She's the one that you guys heard roaring earlier. Priya? I'm always amazed when the keepers are able to get the fussy eating cats to come over to the side of the vacation rotation enclosure, because it's such a big space and it's so easy for the cats to ignore them. But we'll see if she has any success. Absolutely not. And the reason we don't is because, one, it would just be rude. No cat in the wild would ever allow you to walk up and pet them. And two, it just sends the worst possible message. If, our goal is that these animals are not bred for life in cages. So if we're out there petting them, of course other people are going to want to pet them, and they're going to pay to pet those cubs. And that's what causes all of the abuse in this country, is people paying to pet cubs. And so there's just nothing that would make me reach through this fence and touch one of these cats, because it would just send such a bad message. Come on, Joseph! Woohoo! It's gonna be dinner! He's out there soaking up some rays. Whoops, sorry about that, everybody. Joseph used to have a pride. When he came here, he came with 2 tigers and a lioness, but he's the last surviving cat of that group. And even though lions are social, they're only social in family prides. They don't want to be thrown in with other lions. So unfortunately, he will be alone for the rest of his days. I think he's 17 or 18 years old. Oh, do we like turkey?
He loves his turkey.
Susan wants to know what happens with the big cats during hurricanes.
That's a great question. People ask us that all the time. And there's a lot of preparation that goes into making sure that these cats are going to be safe during a hurricane. This enclosure has an open roof. As you can see, looking up there, it's open to the sky. And so if a tree were to get blown around in there and land up next to the wall, it might make a ramp that the cat could escape. So our protocol here is, anytime a cat's in an open roof enclosure like this, if the winds get up to 30 miles an hour, they're brought into the roof sections. And down there you can see how a roof section is like off to the side of the cage. So they would be kept in there until the winds subside. When you have a hurricane, you've got a lot of rain and a lot of wind, and there's just nothing on our cages to catch the wind and be knocked over. It just flies right through the 4x4 fencing. So as long as the cats have a safe place with a roof and a dry den, they do pretty well through hurricanes. Goodness knows we've had enough of them. The cage has been tested and approved.
Samantha wants to know how tall the lion stands.
How tall do you think he is, Lynda?
tall. I'd say at his shoulders. His head probably a little higher, maybe.
And Nikita's taller than that.
Yeah, she's really tall. She's
the
taller
female.
than some of our volunteers for sure. So she's at least 5'5", probably. At her height.
I hope you guys are hearing that crunching.
Yeah, we can hear it.
That's another reason not to stick your hand in there.
Don wants to know how often they're fed and what they're fed and how much.
You want to answer that, Lynda?
Sure. Generally, most of the cats are fed once a day in the morning, sometime between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. Joseph decided that he liked eating in the afternoon or in the PM. So I'm currently feeding him his entire meal after I fed him his meds. And he's getting 10 pounds of food. Mostly in his diet today is turkey, because it seems that that's his favorite thing these days.
This week.
Although, right, like, for a while he was like on a red meat kick. For a while he only ate chicken. For a while he only wanted chicken breasts. Sometimes he wants only things with bones in it. So, at least today he is enjoying his turkey. Most of the cats have a defined weight of meat that they get every day. The smaller cats can get anywhere from 1 pound to 2 pounds of meat. The large tigers, especially the big males, get at least 16 pounds of food a day. So we go through a lot of, I think we feed up to 500 pounds a day. So, all right, you're gonna start your grooming.
Usually once he starts licking his paws, it's all over.
Done. So he may want to eat some more, but I can always come back after I'm done, because he still has quite a bit left, and I really would love it if he ate more. So, but we know his tell. Like, that's just, Carol's right. As soon as he starts grooming his leg, he needs a breather, basically. He's flat. So I'm going to leave that piece there, because if I try to put my stick in there to get it, he'll get quite agitated. So if I come back and he's not here, I can easily pick it up, or he may eat it. And hopefully he'll eat it. Good boy, Joe.
Lisa asks if the cats are spayed and neutered.
In his case, he has not been neutered. The female that he lived with was spayed, so there was no reason to do that. If you neuter a male lion, they lose their mane. So you guys may know Cameron and Zabu, who live here, and Cameron has been neutered and thus has no mane, so he looks like a female lion. But yes, most of our cats, well, all of our cats who live together. Where am I going?
Let's go across to Saber.
Okay.
Let's swing back around.
Okay.
And then check out this.
So we're headed over to Saber. All of our cats who live together are spayed, neutered, or both, so that we don't have any cubs here or kittens here, because we don't believe these cats belong in cages. And we are working on a federal bill right now. It's the Big Cat Public Safety Act, HR 1818, that would ban the private possession of these animals so that they aren't bred to be used as photo props and then discarded into backyards and basements all across the country. There's Zabu, the white tiger that I mentioned earlier. She lives in there with the female-looking but male lion, Cameron. There he is out in the field. So that's an example of the roofed part of their cage, and then the open air part. So if we had a hurricane, they'd have to be called into that roofed area. Hey, Cameron! They have pools. Tigers like the pools, lions not so much.
If you're just tuning in, to answer your question, Keela,
YouTube, somebody's asking how old Zabu is. I believe she was born in 2000, so she's 17 this year. She and Cameron both were born in 2000, and they had been raised together at the facility where they were rescued from for the bad purpose of creating ligers. As soon as they got here, we separated them and then spayed and neutered them so that there would not be any cubs born here. Did you say how many?
Yes, how many?
Yes, we have 77 cats here, and they are lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, bobcats, servals. We just lost our last caracal recently, and we have one ocelot. You see Lynda there running off to try and drop off some food for Little Dove. Little Dove is a 24-year-old bobcat. She's our oldest bobcat. The only cat older is Saber, and he is the cat we're headed over to see right now. This is a white serval. This is Tonga. Hi, Tonga. And that doesn't happen naturally. In the wild, lions and tigers and servals are not white. You can see that he just sticks out like a sore thumb. He would never make it to adulthood because some other animal would prey on him. And if he did manage to live to adulthood, he could never sneak up on prey. But people love things that are unusual, and so they will pay to see white servals or white tigers or white lions. And unfortunately, the only way to get that coat color is through severe inbreeding, so it's a very, very bad thing to do. I saw somebody on YouTube saying they're giving up on me answering their question. I'm sorry, I'm just a little distracted. I got two phones in my hands. The person asking about his nose, he had cancer on his nose, and so 4 years ago we decided to have that surgically removed, thinking it might give him at least another 2 years of life. At that time he was 15, and our average age for our servals at death is 17, so we felt like it, you know, just 2 more years would be a good life for him. And he's lived another 4 years. He's done great. He's done fantastic. So it was well worth the effort to remove that cancer. There he is. There's my Saber. He's so handsome. Saber is a black leopard, and you can really see those spots on him. Thus the phrase, a leopard can never change his spots. Saber just turned 25 years old. He's the world's oldest leopard. They typically only live to be 10 or 12. That's true of most of the big cats, but here they often live into their late teens and early 20s.
Ryan wants to know if you accept donations.
Absolutely. You can go to bigcatrescue.org/donation.
I'll take a donation.
Caitlin wants to know how to get involved in doing something like what you do.
All of the animal care, well, for a living is a different question. All of the animal care here is done by volunteers. Lynda's a volunteer. She works as an accountant during the day, a CPA, and then volunteers her free time to come out and take care of the cats. So we don't pay anybody to work with cats because there are wonderful people like Lynda who love them so much, they will do it for free. You doing JoJo next?
Yeah.
So if you want to work with big cats, best thing I could suggest is go to zoocollege.com. That's all of the same training that our volunteers get. And then volunteer your time at a sanctuary, because sanctuaries always need help. But if you want a paid job working with cats, that's probably not going to happen. Oh dear, I think I lost him. accidentally hang up on you? Hello?
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I must have touched the hang up button as I came through the gate. I don't have enough hands for this. Needs to be an octopus. This is Jojo. He's a cross between a serval and a caracal, which is another stupid thing people do because people will pay to see something odd. It doesn't happen in the wild, even though they're both from Africa, because they live in different regions. And he has issues with, is it also with arthritis with him?
Yes. Yeah, especially in his ankles. Hey, buddy.
So you can see how his ankles are kind of collapsed, and that's why he's on pain management.
Is your girlfriend over here?
Where's Ginger? Do you love Ginger? She's so pretty. Cat, or Ket on YouTube, I think you're right. I think the leopards are the most clever of the cats. They are certainly the sneakiest. This is Frosty. Frosty's a serval.
Such good camouflage. She was laying right in front of me.
I didn't see her at all.
Leaves. She looked just like those leaves.
Oh, sure enough.
I knew she had to be close by.
All right. Well, it looks like we should wrap up soon. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks to Big Cat Rescue. If you're interested in learning more about Big Cat Rescue, be sure to visit bigcatrescue.org or follow them on Facebook.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, Carol.
You're welcome. Good night. Whoop. Hung up a little too fast. We're still live on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to finish on YouTube though and go over to Facebook if you still have cats to do.
I got Jade, Raisa, Deanna Blue, Seth.
Okay, if you guys want to switch over to facebook.com/Big Cat Rescue, that's where we're going to be. I'm going to be sitting on this really scary.
We can do it. We can flip this. Let's
I'm good, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.